Guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've been on. A lot has happened since my last video. Bitcoin has taken place, man. It's happened on Monday, or I'm sorry, this past Friday. And the price has not skyrocketed like some may have envisioned. I was never of the opinion. I didn't think it was going to skyrocket right after, but I knew that we are in the right asset. If anything, I'm happy that it's still in the 60s because I can still DCA. I still plan on DCAing into Bitcoin no matter what the price is. And I'm going to explain why in the next couple of slides here. But overall, I still feel pretty good about the crypto space. I'm very excited about what's to come. Third quarter, fourth quarter of this year, especially next year, should be crazy. So guys, I'm just going to continue to stack. And, we have some good news this week. I'm going to go over some of it. I know that token 2049 in Dubai took place, although it was kind of rainy to say the least, but still a lot of positive things that I'm hearing from token 2049, that there's a lot of development happening. People are very enthusiastic, very happy about the space, and just like I am. So right now, I think we're in the right investment vehicle right now. If you find the good projects that you like, just continue to invest in, and I think that you will be reaping the rewards in the next year and a half. So very excited about that. So hope all is well. So let's get into it, guys. Do me a favor, if you like the video, please hit that like button. And if you want to see more of my content like this, please subscribe to the channel. So yeah, let's see what we got. So looking at the Bitcoin halving, as you know, if you've been following this channel, you know that basically the reward to the miners goes down from 6.25 down to 3.125. So the miners will be making half, basically, of the rewards, all their hard work, getting all these rigs, all the energy that they're using. They're getting less Bitcoin for what they're, basically what they're producing. And on top of that, they're competing with a lot of different other miners as well. So basically, it's a race. It's an arms race to see who has the best equipment, who can get the most, solve the algorithm with the difficulty of the hash, who can get the most Bitcoin. And I have one that I like a lot. I made a video about the one of my favorite miners a couple of months ago, and I still invest in it. Matter of fact, I still DC in it because I think it's the leanest and probably going to be the most profitable miner out there. So we'll talk about that. But anyway, if we look at the Bitcoin halvings versus the cycle highs, if we look at the, this is according to CNBC here, cycle one that they tracked was the 2012 halving. And at the time of the halving, Bitcoin was $12.50. And the cycle high, which was 2013, was 1,163. Can you imagine that, guys? Getting Bitcoin at that price. Cycle two was the 16th, 2016, July. And at that time, the price of Bitcoin was 638 bucks. And then the cycle high was 19,333. That was a 30x from the price at halving. Cycle three, which was the last cycle that we had, which was May of 2020, and the price at the halving at that point was 8,400. Now, basically the last half, that it was kind of messed up because of rate hikes and all of that. So the high at that point was 68,982. Listen to this, guys. 8,475, and the cycle high from the last bull that we had was 68,982. Now, what I want you to see in this trend is look at these prices at halving. Up, 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 right? And now if we do cycle four, the price was probably what, 64,000, right? And look at the price at halving. Just look at these numbers. 64 or whatever, we were at 62, $64,000. Last cycle at the time of halving, Bitcoin was 8,400. That is effing crazy. Can you just imagine what it's going to be the next cycle? And I would say the main driver of that number would have been these ETFs coming in, pouring in money, and adoption. And I'm going to show you why I continue to invest in Bitcoin. And I know it's boring. It's not the most sexy. We want to hear about altcoins, and I love my altcoins as well. But I think if every crypto portfolio should have Bitcoin, because just the scarcity and how hard of an asset it is, I think, if you want anything, you want to protect your assets, you want to just protect a legacy for your family, for your loved ones, your kids, you got to invest in Bitcoin. And I don't want to bore you, but it's going to be one of these boring videos because I will have a little segment, a part, talking about Bitcoin, then I'll get into the alts. But I hope everyone understands how important it is to have Bitcoin, especially with everything that's going on in the world right now. So after the halving, according to HODL 15, the retail they have been buying, so that's good. They know what's going on, they see what's happening, and they want to prepare themselves for the future. But here, you look at this: holders of 1 Bitcoin or less bought 2x the new daily supply. So on 420, which was yesterday, 900, right? Look at that. Yesterday, or that would have been Friday, 1376, and last 30 days. The purchasing of Bitcoin was from, I guess you would call them the shrimps, right? People hold that 1 Bitcoin or less. So they were the main drivers. They were buying. Not to mention you have Mr. 100, you had the ETFs, you had all of that. But retail investors are definitely understanding what's happening. And the next slides, you'll see what's happening. And they know they want to get in and they want to protect their assets because we don't know what the future holds according to this economy, world economy in general. Just we're playing with a house of cards right now, and you need something stable. Something that a government can't inflate, something that they can't make more of, something that they can't control, something that no bank account or nobody can freeze your accounts for whatever reason. You can control it. So retail investors are all ready for the halving, right? So today, this was what, 2 days before the halving. Just look at retail was already preparing, already DCAing, and I was part of that. So I hope you were too. But so what else is happening? So Plan B, we all know Plan B with his stock to flow model said that in the 6 months before the halving, insiders normally front run it and the price will 2x. And in 6 months after the halving, minor revenue adjusts and the price is 2x. Now, 6 to 18 months after halving, the rest of the market rushes to get a piece of the pie, then the price 4x's. So we're good, right? We're not expecting the peak of Bitcoin to hit 6 to 18 months later. That'll put us relatively around, I'd say, May 2025 to September 2025. So during all that time, I will be DCAing and just enjoying the ride up, and I'll be taking some profits on the way out. Not a Bitcoin, but my other alts, definitely I'll be taking some profits. But right now, that's the horizon for me. So we have now time to stack, keep stacking, don't stop. Probably until, next year, that's probably be the peak if history shall repeat. So Plan B thinks that we're on to big things. So that's good. So Grant Cardone, if you don't know who this guy is, he's a big real estate mogul. And he or his brother lists his Florida mansion for $242 billion. And the reason I bring this up is just because I think this is the way of the world. Pretty soon you're going to start seeing this. Elon, last bull cycle had you can buy Teslas with the Bitcoin, and then he said something about the energy and global pollution and all of that, and he backtracked. But that'll come back, especially the way Tesla's doing right now. I think that'll come back. But you will start to see millionaires, people of wealth, start exchanging things for Bitcoin. There's only about 52 million millionaires maybe in the US. Bitcoin has, if you take about what's lost as far as Bitcoins, they say it's 21 million, but with lost Bitcoins, locked Bitcoins, we're probably talking about 15 to 17 million Bitcoins. And once everyone starts to understand the way the economy is headed and they don't have enough of Bitcoin, they see their buddies stacking Bitcoins and millionaires, they tend to flock. They want to do what the other doing and probably outpace that person, be the top dog. They're going to want to get into Bitcoin too. Then there's going to be a mass rush of Bitcoin and no Bitcoin left. And people are going to start trading their investments, their assets, just to do anything to get some Bitcoin. And I see this is the way that the world will probably be headed in the future. That's why I say if you can stack a little bit of Bitcoin, $50 per paycheck, $100 per paycheck, something that, hey, you can't afford to lose. I think in the long run, you look back 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you're going to be thankful you did that, because I think it's going to be a very scarce and very valuable asset. But this was interesting. And Grant Cardone won't be the first one. There will be others that will follow. So just beware. So, and to mirror that, institutions look to Bitcoin for non-debt money, says Bitwise CIO Matt Hogan. So he is a chief investment officer for the Bitwise, and he says large investors now view Bitcoin as a means of mitigating the risk of economic headwinds. What economic headwinds are we talking about? So this is just the US. We're not talking about the other big nations, countries. This is just the US. We have over 34 trillion in national debt. US federal spending, the official is about 6.6 trillion, and that's not going down, right? Just yesterday, this was announced that we, 95 billion to, aid different countries that are dealing with conflict right now. And where's that money coming from? You just saw this, 34 trillion. We just add another, what is this, 94 billion to it, 95 billion. And, that's just going to inflate our money away. And, the purchasing power of the dollar just continue to go down. So that's crazy. And Jerome Powell and the Fed, they're doing everything they can to try to curb inflation here in the US. But, they can't control inflation. All they can do is control spending. And that's what they're doing. They're controlling spending. And with the interest rates, credit cards and mortgages and all of that, that's all they could do. But they can't control this. All the money that's being spent is just inflation. It's just going to hurt the purchasing power of your dollar or whatever your native currency is. And that's why we Bitcoin. That's why it's important to do so. Now, as far as miners go, we talked about at the halving, the reward goes down to 3.12. And if we look at the miners, this is the cost. This is what they cost them to produce one Bitcoin. So with the rigs, energy, just to keep the lights on, this is what it's costing them. So if you have a miner where it's costing, more and they're losing money, that miner is probably not going to make it. So if you look at here, the leanest are, what is this? BitDeer and then CleanSpark. CleanSpark is my favorite miner. And CleanSpark, you see that right now, the cost to just mint one Bitcoin is about $41,000. So Bitcoin is at a price that's over a steady 60,000. It touched 59,000 for a little bit, but it's going up. So with them, they don't have much debt, and you see the cost it is for them to produce their Bitcoin, and they're selling stock in order to get the fastest rigs, fastest miners. That's my favorite miner right now, and I've been stacking. I've been DCAing in CleanSpark, and I think that when the price of Bitcoin, when it hits the six-figure mark, look out for CleanSpark. Not financial advice, just something that you should probably take a look at. CleanSpark is one of my favorites. Then you have others like TerraWolf, Cypher Mining, and all the others, but CleanSpark is the one for me. Now, if we look at the chart for CleanSpark, right, let's take a look here. And if we look at the last 5 days, up 16%. Last day, up 5.9%, right? For the past 6 months, look at this, up 320%. Now, that's with the price of Bitcoin going from, 30,000 to the 60,000, 70,000. Imagine what's going to happen if Bitcoin hits, 75, then from 75 to 105 to 120 and the like. That's what everyone's saying, right? People are predicting this price. What do you think the average return will be for your CleanSpark? You do the math. So now let's take a look at CoinMarketCap. What's going on with the market? Currently, we're Fear and Greed Index. We're at 62. Global market cap's at 2.3 trillion. We're up about almost 2%. Price of Bitcoin at the time of the video, $64,000. ETH at 3,100. Solana's at 149. And if we look at the past 24 hours, Bitcoin's up 1.5%. ETH's up 2.6. Sol's up 4.4. Then we have Toncoin. Toncoin is down, just nothing, 0.12%, but they're at $6.10. So the Fed officially said, or Fed officials are saying that the Federal Reserve could wait until 2025 to lower interest rates. And why this is important, because if interest rates aren't cut, it may delay the pumps that we plan to see. Normally if interest rates are cut, there's more money flowing, more liquidity flowing, and people tend to invest in more things, especially riskier assets, which unfortunately crypto is still risky. Although I think Bitcoin, you can make the argument to say that it's less risky. But nonetheless, we should keep an eye on this, because if it does happen, it could, slow down our pumps. But again, we still have a horizon for next year, 2025, and for sure they'll be cutting in 2025. So let's just keep that in mind, right? Now, Token 2049 Dubai took place. They had more than announcements going on. They had a big, just historical storm that took place there, and there was some flooding, and people can't get anywhere. But nonetheless, the vibe from what I'm hearing is very positive. good announcements being made, and I can't wait to hear what a lot of these projects are coming out with. So overall, I heard it was a good event, and maybe someday I'll join. Also, Tether launches USDT on the Ton blockchain, giving stablecoin access to Telegram messaging. So Telegram and Toncoin is pretty awesome. They already have the user base. That's the one thing. Over what they're estimating 700 to 900 million users that are on Telegram. So if you have a Web3 program, a Web3 blockchain that's already there, you already have, the adoption. It's just a matter of getting apps. And that's the only thing that Toncoin for me, I don't really see much breadth of dApps on the blockchain. I don't know what's going on. I hear they have a meme coin, but there's nothing as far as DeFi or anything like that. They're not really strong there. So they need to do that. But getting Tether as a stable coin on the blockchain is promising. Also, they announced the Ton founder, Justin Hun, and also someone announced at Token 2049 that they are launching mini apps. And with these mini apps, you don't even have to download it. It's already going to be on the chain. So that's pretty good too, right? Ease of use. You already have the user base. So far, right now they're taking little steps to get to where they need to be. But if they can start getting developers on this chain and they start getting some dApps and starting adopting with the memes and the DeFi NFTs, this Toncoin might be one to watch, definitely. Um, Also, Solana was dealing with some congestions. There have been some upgrades. Last time I checked, about 90% of it was uploaded by validators. Congestion issues have been solved. We see that with the price almost up 5%. But Bonk, there's been a lot of talks about Whiff and Cat Whiff Hat and all these other ones. But Bonk is up 37% in the last 24 hours. Could this be a resurgence of Bonk? I don't know. But Bonk, remember, was the first one out of the Solana memes to really take it to the next level. And then you had the other ones rising behind it. So keep an eye on Bonk. And then also, Whiff will be listed on Coinbase. Whiff is already over a 3 billion market cap. Can you imagine what will happen once it's listed on Coinbase? Massive FOMO happening. We're in peak bull. Whiff is one that I've been stacking as well. I'm going to continue to stack. But again, just wanted to make a video for you guys just to let you know where we're at. Things are very, very good. We're past the halving right now. We're dealing with global economic issues, macro issues, but stick to the game plan. When we're dealing with this in the bear market, we already knew what was happening. We just saw the ending. We didn't care what happened in the middle. We just knew that we need to invest, keep DCAing, and at the end, we'll be very, very excited, very happy for our decisions. So that's my video for today, guys. I'm happy that I'm in the crypto space. I hope you are too. Thank you for spending your time with me. Until later. Bye.